Greetings and welcome to Zannon's Laboratory. Today we're going to be doing some redstone stuffs. I'm going to try and teach you how to make a bud switch or a block update detector. This is a glitch, so it may get patched out in future updates, but hopefully not. There it is. Okay. So this is repeater level. So second difficulty. Not too difficult unless you want to use it in some really complex, like secret door stuff and stuff like that. But so I'm going to teach you the basics of it, and you can take it from there. So basically, a bud switch works when you power a block that's diagonal from a piston, like so. So I just powered this block diagonal. So whenever I update a block next to the piston by either placing a block, or if I use a furnace and start cooking, or let's see what else is there. There's a variety of things that you can use. But we're going to stick with block placing. So if I place this block here, you see this piston as extended. Now, if I remove this block, nothing happens. If I place the block again, nothing happens. That's because the power is still on diagonal. Now, if I turn this power back off, it's ready for the next update. So if I update it again, whether removing the block or placing another block next to it, it will update itself and the piston will retract. So here's removing the block. There we go, it's back. If I turn this back on, place another block, it goes back out. This also works if I want to place the block, so I can just turn the power back off. If I place the block next to it, it retracts. So it works either way. I can turn it on and remove the block adjacent to the piston, which there isn't one, so I'll put one there. Alright, so now power is on, remove the block. There we go. Yep. There's that. That's the basic sort of setup for a bud switch. It does need a piston. That is one of the requirements for the bud switch, and it also needs a block that's diagonally powered. There's various ways you can power this block. You can use the lever like I have here, or you can simply use a redstone torch, but there must be constant power on it. A button does not work. If it does work in a certain way, you can give me a comment back on the video and let me know how it's done. That'd be awesome. But as far as I know, the buttons do not work. So next we're going to switch to a little more complicated one. This one involves a furnace. It also involves a trigger. Not a trigger, an output. So, okay, so the power is on, and I need a block there, don't I? There we go. Okay, so we'll take power off. What is that? There we go. Alright, so now the power is on. The block is setting above the redstone torch, so you could have this, oh, that's not what I wanted. So anyway, so if you place a redstone trail here, it will glow. Actually, I could just demonstrate that, turn that back off. Here. There we go. So now you can see there is a trail of redstone, so you can actually lead this somewhere and figure something else you want to do. So basically, this setup, it moves a block over two different redstone torches. Once the block is over the redstone torch, the torch sends a signal to the block, and you can have a stream going out, or like I have set up here, a no block. So in this instance, what's going to happen is if I turn on the power, and then let's say I'm cooking wood. It extends out, and then once it's finished cooking, if I turn the power off, it should retract. Like that. Now you could have this going either way. If I turn this power on, extend this, turn the power off, and then cook something, notice that it retracts, and then you turn the power back on, and when it's finished, the block will extend, and no block goes off, and it tells you when your dinner's ready, or whatever you're cooking. So that's a little more advanced way. You could also use this for a door, like a doorbell type thing, although you could probably just use a pressure plate and some note blocks, but whatever floats your boat. But yeah, this is sort of a detector to see when your stuff's ready to be picked up so no one else takes it or anything like that. I'm not sure what else you'd use it for. Yeah. Okay, so that's the second. These are pretty basic. You can take these a lot further than what I'm taking them, but for the sake of complexity, that's as far as I'm going to show you. And then we have this one over here. This one is on a loop setting, so you don't have to mess with the levers or supplying these adjacent diagonal blocks with any power whatsoever, because it does it all itself. So right now, in its default position, you have a piston that's in its extended form, and it has two redstone torches, just like the other one. If you can see it there. If you can. If not, that's what it looks like. Just like that. So it's a trench with two torches, and then it's a piston on either side, long sides, and then a block on it. So what this is going to do is every time you update the block adjacent to the piston, this block here will move back and then turn on this redstone wire, which powers this block, which is adjacent to the piston. Not adjacent, it's a diagonal adjacent to the piston, which means it's ready for the next update. And then once you update the block adjacent to that piston again, this block will extend back out to where it is now, and this will shut off, means this is no longer powered, meaning it's ready for the next update, and so on and so forth. So it updates this power block here, instead of having to use a lever or a torch or some other stuff. So this is a self-resetting bud switch. This is the type I would use, simply because you could use this in traps, or you could use it in, I don't know, whatever else you want to use it for. If you cook a lot, that works just fine. Actually, I have cooking set up here. So right now, I have it set default to when this does cooking, the little bell will go off. So I'll show an example. So I put a block of oak wood in there, like that. The power has stopped going to the note block here and has gone to this. So once the oven updates, like that, the note block goes off, and now this power block is off. So it's ready for the next update. So you don't have to use the oven like I have there. You can simply place a block or a block and it resets itself. So it's a really useful bud switch. This one is probably my favorite bud switch out of all three of these that I built. So these are the most simplest. This one is definitely the most simplest. You can't really hide this too well because you're using the lever. You could use the torch, but that involves a lot more wiring beneath or above, or however you turn off and on your redstone torches. So I tend to stay away from this one if I want something hidden. This one's okay if you kind of understand how redstone works. But for the experts, this is definitely the way to go, because you can make this into so much more. You can have multiple bud switches hooked up and chain react, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, this is the bud switch. The key components are making sure that there is an adjacent diagonal block that receives power, and then after you update the block, turns the power off. So that's the key component. That's definitely what you need. That is the key to bud switch. Having an adjacent diagonal block that receives power and then can have that power cut off. That's what makes the bud switch. Also, you need a piston. This is mandatory because that's what the bud switch is. Because it's a glitch concerning pistons. But this doesn't have to be a sticky piston. This can be a regular piston that pushes like so. Turn that power on, and you can place, I think it works with torches too. Place one down. So if you place a torch, so that could you could have that even connected up to some Zelda music if they found like a secret entrance, or like for those of you that seen Frankenstein, the comedy version of Frankenstein, they have a secret passage that if you move the candle, it moves a secret staircase, so you could remove the candle, have some music go off, and then a staircase lift up or move out. But that's useful for that. That still would use this version, but that's the most simplest to explain. But yeah, so that's the bud switch. Just remember power block, piston, and then if you're using the advanced setups, you need a trench with 2 redstones. So I'll go ahead and set up this real quick. So it's two redstone torches and a trench that's 2 wide. And then adjacent to it, so it could be on this side or it could be on this side, but it does have to be long ways. You're going to put a piston and a block, and then you're going to want to have set up like this. I want to say no, not quite. Well, it would work, but the redstone powerage to the piston would be chaotic, yada yada. So you want to keep this diagonal, as furthest away from this piston as possible, because if you go here, the piston will stay lit anyway, just because of it being on top of it. So stay away from that. Anyway, so that's how that works. And then you drag this around like so. Now that block's receiving power. Boom. There we go. So this is the basic little setup. You just need a square of redstone leading to this block here, and then the trench with the piston and a block. Actually, not a lot of resources at all if you think about it. You don't have to use diamond, of course. You could use dirt. Well, I'd just use diamond because I'm in creative mode. But whatever floats your boat. So you have this like that, and then you update it. And then this other stream you have coming out. You have it leading to whatever. You could even have a TNT if you wanted to. So you could, for instance, if someone's getting into your stuff, they figured out your key combination, which was just to place a block, and they forgot to disable the tripwire mechanism, like this. So, yeah, this could also be like a door key or whatever. If you could hide it well enough. So you could have just like the piston showing, and you could just have, if you place a block here, it opens your door. Now you can also have another one of those bud switches set up to where you can have TNT on a sticky piston, and you can move it away if you hit this bud switch over here, and then open your door. So if they're not you, they won't know about it, and they'll simply do this and blow themselves up. Yeah, if you have any questions or if you want me to explain further, please leave a comment in the comment section or send me a video response or email me, go to the website. All the links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Zannon out.